3 years ago, Sarah had been trying to manifest her dream relationship for so long that it consumed her thoughts every waking moment. She visualized, affirmed, journaled, and prayed until her desperation became suffocating. Then one Tuesday morning, exhausted by her own wanting, she whispered to herself, "I'm done. I can't do this anymore." She deleted her dating apps, stopped looking for signs, and genuinely let go of the outcome. That exact same day, the same day she surrendered, her future husband walked into the coffee shop where she was reading alone, no longer searching. He approached her not because she was trying to attract him, but because her energy had finally become magnetic instead of needy. This isn't a coincidence. This is how reality actually works. You've probably experienced some version of this yourself. You want something desperately: a job, a relationship, a breakthrough, an opportunity. You push, you strategize, you visualize. You work yourself into an anxious frenzy trying to make it happen. Nothing. Then the moment you finally exhale and genuinely stop caring about the outcome, it shows up seemingly out of nowhere. Most people think this is just cruel irony, but it's actually revealing one of the most profound principles of how consciousness interacts with reality. The tighter you grip something, the more it slips through your fingers. The more desperately you need something to happen, the more you energetically repel it from occurring. There's actual physics behind this, and once you understand it, you'll never approach wanting the same way again. Here's what's really happening when you want something too intensely. Your consciousness creates what I call an energetic vice. You're literally squeezing the space around your desire so tightly that there's no room for it to actually manifest. It's like trying to catch a butterfly by closing your fist around it. The very action that's supposed to capture it guarantees it can't be captured. Think about how different your energy feels when you want something desperately versus when you want something casually. Desperate wanting feels tight, anxious, controlling. It's your consciousness in a state of contraction, focused entirely on what you don't have. Casual wanting feels open, curious, relaxed. It's consciousness in a state of expansion, trusting that good things are possible. Reality responds to these different energetic states in completely different ways. When you're in desperate wanting mode, you're broadcasting the frequency of, "I don't have this thing I need." The universe, which is essentially a giant feedback system, reflects that frequency back to you by continuing to create circumstances where you don't have that thing you need. You're not attracting what you want. You're attracting more of the experience of wanting it. But when you're in relaxed wanting mode, Or better yet, when you've completely let go of the outcome, you're broadcasting the frequency of "I'm okay either way." This creates space for possibilities to emerge naturally without the energetic interference of your desperation. It's like the difference between trying to force a river to flow uphill versus removing the rocks that are blocking its natural course. The river doesn't need your help to flow. It needs you to stop interfering with its natural movement. Your desires are like that river. They have their own intelligence, their own timing, their own way of finding you. But they can't reach you when you're creating energetic obstacles with your desperation. Here's what most people don't understand about letting go. They think it means giving up on what they want or pretending they don't care. But real letting go isn't about becoming indifferent. It's about releasing your death grip on how and when your desire has to manifest. True letting go is saying, "I want this, but I trust that if it's meant for me, it will find a way to happen. And if it's not meant for me, something better will." It's the difference between demanding that reality conform to your specific timeline and trusting reality's intelligence about timing. When you let go in this way, something remarkable happens in your energy field. The tight, desperate frequency relaxes into something much more attractive. You stop radiating need and start radiating confidence. You stop pushing and start allowing. You stop trying to control outcomes and start dancing with possibilities. And that shift in your energy changes everything about how opportunities respond to you. People can feel the difference between someone who's desperately seeking and someone who's confidently open. Situations can sense the difference between forced timing and natural timing. Even circumstances seem to rearrange themselves more easily around relaxed intention than around desperate demand. This is why the manifestation happens right after the letting go. Not because the universe was testing your patience, but because you finally created the energetic conditions where manifestation was actually possible. But here's the paradox that confuses most people. How do you care enough to want something but not care so much that you block it? How do you maintain desire without falling into desperation? The answer lies in understanding the difference between attachment to outcomes and alignment with intentions. When you're attached to outcomes, you're focused on one specific way your desire has to manifest. You want this particular job with this particular person at this particular time under these particular circumstances. Any deviation from your exact specifications feels like failure. But when you're aligned with intentions, you're focused on the essence of what you want rather than the specific form it has to take. You want meaningful work that uses your talents, but you're open to how that might look. You want a loving partnership, but you're not attached to it being with one specific person. You want financial abundance, but you're open to the various ways that might arrive. Attachment creates rigidity in your energy. Alignment creates flexibility. And reality can work with flexibility in ways it simply cannot work with rigidity. Think about it like this. If you're absolutely determined that your desire must manifest in exactly one way, you're giving reality only one narrow channel through which to deliver it to you. But if you're clear about what you want while remaining open about how it might come, you're giving reality infinite channels through which to surprise you. The letting go process is essentially you saying to reality, I trust your creativity more than I trust my limited imagination about how this could work out. Technical moment. If what you're hearing right now resonates with you, hit subscribe. It shows that this information is valuable. Now, let me tell you about what actually happens in the moment of true letting go. There's a physiological shift that occurs in your body, a neurological shift that occurs in your brain, and an energetic shift that occurs in your field. These shifts are measurable, and they create real changes in how you interact with your environment. When you're in desperate wanting mode, your nervous system is in a state of chronic activation. Your brain is constantly scanning for threats to your desire. Your body is flooded with stress hormones. Your energy field is contracted and defensive. This state actually impairs your ability to recognize opportunities and respond to them effectively. But in the moment of genuine letting go, your nervous system shifts into what researchers call social engagement mode. Your brain stops scanning for threats and starts noticing possibilities. Your body releases relaxation hormones. Your energy field expands and becomes receptive. In this relaxed state, you become much more perceptive, much more creative, much more magnetic. You notice things you were too stressed to see before. You make connections you were too anxious to make before. You attract experiences that match your relaxed confidence rather than your desperate need. This isn't just psychology, it's neuroscience. When you let go of desperate attachment, you literally change your brain's capacity to recognize and create the circumstances you want. But here's what's even more fascinating. The moment you truly let go, you also become available for outcomes that are better than what you originally wanted. When you were desperately attached to one specific scenario, you were closed off to possibilities that didn't match your exact specifications. But when you open your grip, you create space for reality to surprise you with options you never considered. Sometimes what you thought you wanted was actually a limited version of something much better that was trying to reach you. But it couldn't reach you while you were energetically demanding the smaller version. This is why people often say that what they received after letting go was so much better than what they were originally trying to force. They weren't settling for less. They were finally allowing more. The universe isn't withholding your desires to test your patience. It's waiting for you to create the energetic conditions where your desires can manifest in their highest form. Here's how you know if you've truly let go versus just pretending not to care. True letting go feels like relief. There's a genuine relaxation in your body, a sense of spaciousness in your mind, a feeling of trust in your heart. You still want what you want, but the desperate edge is gone. You're curious about how it might unfold rather than anxious about whether it will happen. Fake letting go feels like resignation or suppression. You're telling yourself you don't care, but underneath there's still the same tight energy of wanting. You're trying to trick the universe by pretending indifference, but your energy is still broadcasting need. The universe responds to your authentic energetic state, not to what you're telling yourself or others about your state. Real letting go often happens gradually, then suddenly. You might spend weeks or months slowly releasing your grip, and then one day you wake up and genuinely don't need the outcome anymore. You still want it, but you don't need it. And that's when it tends to show up. But here's the beautiful thing about understanding this principle. Once you've experienced it a few times, you start trusting the process instead of fighting it. You recognize when you're getting too attached to outcomes, and you consciously practice loosening your grip. You develop what I call relaxed intention, the ability to want something strongly while holding it lightly. This becomes a way of moving through life that makes everything easier. Instead of exhausting yourself trying to force outcomes, you learn to plant seeds of intention and then create the optimal conditions for them to grow. Instead of demanding that reality conform to your timeline, you learn to dance with reality's timing. And something magical happens when you live this way. Your desires start manifesting more easily, more quickly, and often in forms that exceed your original expectations. Not because you've become more deserving, but because you've finally learned how to get out of your own way. The manifestation was always trying to reach you. You just had to stop blocking it with your desperation. Every time you've wanted something desperately and gotten more of the experience of wanting it, you were learning this lesson. Every time you've let go and then been surprised by how quickly things shifted, you were seeing this principle in action. The moment you finally let go isn't when you give up on your desires. It's when you finally trust them enough to stop interfering with their natural unfoldment. Your desires know how to find you. They know the perfect timing, the perfect circumstances, the perfect way to arrive that will serve your highest good. But they need you to create space for them by releasing your death grip on controlling exactly how they have to happen. The letting go isn't the end of your wanting. It's the beginning of your receiving. What you've been desperately trying to make happen is already on its way to you. It's just waiting for you to relax enough to let it arrive. If this video changed something in you, write in the comments, "I release and receive." Write it as your commitment to trusting the intelligence of your desires more than the anxiety of your wanting. The thing you've been chasing is about to start chasing you. All you have to do is stop running away from it with your desperation. Nobody